Hey guys, it's Average Guy here with special guest Boogs on a dreary, rainy Sunday morning. We're working on a repower of a 1972 Troy Bilt Horse that had a Tecumseh HH60, I think 6.5 horsepower motor. Every year I've had to rebuild the carburetor because of the ethanol buildup. Even with stabilizers and whatnot, it sits for 10 months at a time, and this year the carburetor was not salvageable, and I ultimately decided it was time to just put one of those Predator motors on it. So here's the Troy Bilt tiller without the motor. We're gonna take a few just little independent clips and kind of seam these all together so that you get some snapshots into what we're doing, and I'm gonna throw in some things I discovered along the way that hopefully you'll find helpful. So there's the rolling chassis. We've got some engine cleaner on it right now, just trying to get 42 years of grime off of the thing, so that when we put it back together, it's in the best working condition that it can be. So that's the end of the first clip. We'll be back with more. This will be the next clip in the movie here. Basically, I've got the old Tecumseh HH60 off the tiller, sitting here ready for retirement. Basically, it just has a carb problem, but this tiller had the throttle up on the handle, and the carburetor that's the exact match for that lever setup was the cheapest I could find. It was roughly $100 after shipping. Sitting next to it is the brand new Predator engine from Harbor Freight, the one that everybody is saying they're using to repower these tillers. It's item number 69730 or 60363 or 68120. All three of those item numbers were on the tag at Harbor Freight, and we walked out the door with no warranty or anything like that for $128 for this brand new motor. So far, from what we can tell, it's really going to be a bolt-up replacement. The bolt pattern looks very much the same on both. All the measurements come out the same. I should be able to use the original bolts, the OEM bolts off the tiller to hold the new engine in place. The only thing that was really different is this bolt that holds the reversing wheel in place. And you can see that the new one's going to have to be a little smaller than the original, but since the reversing plate slides over the shaft, I don't think we're going to have much of a problem making that work. The key looks, the slot for the key looks the same. Everything looks like it matches up just right. So we're going to let that degreaser continue to work on the tiller outside in the rain for a few more minutes, roll it back in here after we clean it up, and start putting this bad boy back together. And we'll be back, see how it goes. Gang, I want to make a quick clarification. The reason that I had to change the bolt size is because the threading on the shafts is different. That was the problem, okay? The OEM shaft bolt that holds the pulley on and the reversing disc and all that business was too big to get to the threads on the new motor. So we went ahead and purchased a new bolt, obviously, because we had to have one, but you won't be able to use your factory bolt there. So just keep that in mind when you're doing this. Really, I just went by Napa, and they matched things up for me pretty quickly, okay? Okay, gang, we just did a little power wash on the tiller just to clean up some of that grime. And then we blew it off with the leaf blower so we didn't bring a bunch of water in the garage. But we're going to go ahead and get started on this repower. And we've got some parts laid out, and basically it's just go time. So why don't you get one last look at it while it was clean, and we'll see how this goes, and if we can update you along the way, we will. Okay, gang, we've got the housing bolted back on, the pulleys in place. Just a quick note, the new engine seemed to come with a key for the crankshaft, but I'm reusing the OEM key because it was about a third longer, and I don't even know how I'd get the new key out if I had to. So we've got the new engine sitting on a dirt bike jack It's just about the right height. And I've got the belts hung on the crank. And what we're going to try to do now is move it into position and secure the housing in place. And then I'll try to turn the belts onto the transmission pulleys. So we're going to see how that goes, and we'll check back. Okay, gang, there it is. The Predator 212cc motor bolted on a 1972 Troy Bilt Horse. It's a replacement for a Tecumseh HH60. As a bonus, I was actually able to get the throttle cable attached. It's not the best setup, but it's certainly adequate. See if I can get you a shot of it down there. I hope that's coming out, but there was a clamp to hold the cable in place, and it's drilled for the connector. So everything's in place. The cable kind of hangs out here a bit, but ultimately it does actuate the throttle without any trouble. So we get to maintain that functionality. The crankcase is full of oil, so the next step is going to be for us to start it up and see how it runs. Well, there it is. It's on and running. I honestly can't believe how quiet it is. So I'm talking a little loud because I know the GoPro camera is inside a case, and I didn't want to muffle the sound. But you could really just have a casual conversation with somebody standing next to this thing, and it wouldn't be any problem at all. Very, very responsive on the throttle. Again, sounds very quiet. Seems to be running just fine. So the next thing we're going to do is clean a path up and see how it runs when I put it in gear. Okay, gang, just wanted to show a quick video of the cultivated and planted garden. Not fully planted yet, but we're almost there. This is just to show that the repower of the 1972 Troy Bilt Horse was successful. I didn't take any video footage of me cultivating the garden. I didn't think anybody needed to see that. It ran fine. It did the job. I did have to disconnect the low oil sensor just to keep the thing from cutting out as it bit down in the dirt. But ultimately, I got to give this whole thing 5 scales on the big guy review scale. That was a really easy job. Everything bolted up minus that one part, but you can get that easily at any auto parts store. And I can't complain. The thing's running great. The engine starts on one pull, plenty of power, and it did a great job. So don't forget to like us, subscribe if you like what's going on here. You can also email if you have any questions. I'll be happy to talk to anybody about the job that was done. And other than that, I'm signing off. See you next time.